It's a grizzly.
Should we get out of here?
No. We're gonna watch and listen.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Perfectly Pagan Community and More with Grizzly on the Hunt with Lady Shay and Psychics and Sweaters Mate. What's going on? Long time no see there, Mr. Shay.
How you doing?
I'm good. Oh, Lord. So welcome, Nigel. Crazy Witch, welcome to the show, man. What's going on? Amy, hello. So we have a show in for you. Natasha Brooke, welcome, hello. So yeah, so we decided to do a show just for them. So Shay, we'll start with you. Introduce yourself and tell everybody what you do and all about yourself.
So I am Lady Shay, and I am the publisher and owner of Purrfectly Pagan Magazine. Perfectly, like the cat. Perfectly. And we started this magazine about 18 months ago. It'll be 18 months ago next month. And so it is all about paganism and witches and talks about the metaphysical community. And we range anywhere from love, flowers, and sunshine to very much the left-hand path of things. We cover the whole, yeah. Speaking about you, John. And so we cover.
I wasn't going to say anything, but yes, I was going to let that go.
Oh yeah. And so we cover a wide range of topics and viewpoints, and I try to give pretty much as much leeway as I possibly can with any of my writers and their perspectives, and as much adult language as can be accepted by the platform we use to publish on.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Now we have picked up a new channel, ladies and gentlemen. We're on Roku, so we do, Mr. Shayton, have to watch our language there.
Oh, yes. There we go.
I'll do my best.
Oh Lord, now, I do not have a beat button, so and remember, ours is live and uncut and raw, ladies and gentlemen. So we got to keep that in mind. He knows that. Look at him. Don't laugh.
There you go.
We like it raw.
Yeah. There goes my YouTube channel right there.
Well, there you go.
Hi there, Luna. Welcome
I'll
to
be
the
professional.
show. Yeah, I believe that. Okay.
So, okay, to be fair, John's not the only one that puts us in the sandbox with little,
No, I know that. That is the truth. Yeah,
So I am the king of the monkey bars.
TMI right there, just TMI. That's just the only thing I'm gonna say.
So, yeah, there. It's so funny though, because I think there's only been one issue that I really gave some direction on as far as this is the theme I'm looking for, whatever. And it didn't matter because most people didn't write too much about that anyway. But, but most of the issues, I just let them write about whatever. I don't give them direction. I don't whatever. And the number of times where I have had individuals write on such similar topics, just out of the blue. It's not anything that has been discussed. I mean, we have a private like writers group, but they don't really talk too much about what they're going to write about or anything like that. It just happens. And so I would get the when I was doing the editing, now Holly is doing the editing.
That's me.
When I was doing the editing, I would get these articles and I'm going, wow. And I even asked one month, I was like, did you guys collaborate on this? Because this is just freaky, and they hadn't. It just they wrote about what they were being led to write about. And that's kind of the whole point, I think. So
that is awesome. That is like really cool.
Four of us are psychic, Shay.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm outnumbered.
Now watch Holly's and Shayden's face. Now, ladies and gentlemen, because they have not been watching my show. Now watch. Oh.
That's cool.
Oh, I'm intimidated and spooky.
Oh, stop it.
It's
That's
beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. It's beautiful.
It is.
That is
So
really cool.
I start embracing some of my stuff, and now watch this. Don't get excited, Mr. Braden.
Hey. Ooh, what kind of stone is that? It's hard to see.
Looks like quartz.
Yeah, it looks like a
Quartz and something else and something else. So yes. So
It's a conglomerate.
I got it out and I calibrated and it scared the hell out of me. So I put it back in its bag.
I was quite shocked. I started doing pendulum work not too long ago, maybe a few months back.
Yeah.
And I always kind of just assumed it was hack. And I was pleasantly surprised how dead on it can be.
Yeah, I was too, because I was asking a question on the show before I even asked the question. It was telling me maybe, and I was like, I put it right back in the bag. And I'm like, yeah, it's up. I'm done, ladies and gentlemen. My cat balls were going off and everything. You know, I got all these dolls above my head. You had no idea what's been transpiring in my studio since the last time we talked. But now you two introduce yourselves and tell everybody who you all are.
After you do.
So I have a couple names. In the magazine, I am the fairy god's mother, not fairy godmother, fairy god's mother. That name was given to me by a very special little 4-year-old. That's a story for another time. But and then I'm also, psychics and swears and Holly be healing. Holly's my actual name, but I just call me Hey. I'll answer. And how about you? Who the heck are you?
My name is John Shaden, and I am Legion. I go by many names. It was a joke. And I
heard that.
And I write under the Devil's Advocate for Psychics and I'm part of one half of Psychics and Swears, and I write for Purrfectly Pagan Magazine as well.
He's more of the swears part.
Yeah, I will say that John is the reason why I had to start putting warnings on articles for adult language and adult situations and all that kind of good stuff. So,
ain't it great?
Oh, it was great. It was great. I got his first article and I'm going, okay, well, this is going to certainly, add to that spectrum of perspectives that we have. But that's part of the reason why I wanted him to write for the magazine. So we had an awful lot of love, flower, sunshine, and shades of gray in there. And then, but we didn't have anybody from like the left-hand path type thing and what have you. And so I'm like, we can do that. That works. I like it. And so, I've always told my writers, even if I don't agree necessarily with what you say, or it's not my perspective or my worldview or whatever, unless it's like super something that I just can't see myself doing. And I truly don't think that I've ever had anything where I said, no, we're not doing this. Had a few disclaimers, don't get me wrong, but as far as like not doing it, I just don't want that for the mag. I want them to feel like they can write whatever they want. If they write something and there might be a discussion as to, okay, tell me why you think I should put this in there. And I think Holly and John will agree that, made their case. And then I'm like, okay, let's do it. If it gets us, in trouble, that's fine, but
I was kind of, I had a little bit of trepidation when I started writing for the magazine, because I was like, well, what am I getting myself into? This isn't my I've been a writer for quite some time. And being a free speech absolutist, which I am, I did have some, I was a bit nervous about writing for a publication that I wasn't quite familiar with. But I will say, in Shay's defense, that she has been not only a consummate professional, she has basically given me carte blanche to say whatever I want. Yeah, some of the cuss words and more colorful language is altered because of the platform we're on, which is an understandable. It was an understandable reason.
Yeah, it was a concession we had to make, and we had that discussion.
Right.
Thank you. That was the word that I was looking for. It was a concession that we needed.
See, it's rubbing off on me.
As always, OG editor skills right there.
That's right.
But Shay has never, even though the words are altered, she has never taken my language and twisted it. Like I've had some other editors where it was like, oh wow, you completely 180'd the point I was trying to make here. Doom on you. She never did and doesn't, and nor does Holly. And even when some of the topics, I mean, they can range wildly from psychedelics to suicide. But they can to the darkest magic imaginable. So I've been given carte blanche and freedom to express myself, and I've always appreciated that.
Just I want to clarify something, because you're like just suicide and
well, you gotta let him read the magazine.
But what it is he's talking about, like how certain things are seen within different
currents,
different religions, and how specific drugs can be used for magic or for
specifically psychedelics. That was what I wrote about. I don't want to give it like she's just giving me a platform from my
right. There is a theme.
Yeah, it's not just a platform for my libertarian point of view. It's very much tied into magic and the left-hand path and paganism. So yeah.
So when I say that they can write about anything they want, it does have to tie in with paganism. I guess I felt that was kind of understood.
Me too. I thought it was kind of the point.
But with certain topics that were brought up, I felt like we needed to rein it back in and
a little bit.
Yes.
Sure. And even I did write it, like the article, for example, talking about suicide, writing about my friend who had killed herself.
Yeah.
That one was maybe towing, kind of walking that razor's edge as okay, well, how am I tying this in? And it was tied in because she was a magic practitioner. She practiced what she preached, and
but you also spoke about what happened as a psychic afterwards and that kind of thing too. So it's
right, it dealt with the paranormal.
All of it.
It dealt with the it all tied itself together.
It always does. Now, from my understanding, there has been a lot of changes since the last time we have spoken, especially with you, Shay. So what's going on in your world?
So, on two different fronts, as far as with the magazine and perfectlypagan.com, the website itself, our mission has changed. I guess adapted is more like it. When we first started, I really didn't. I had this crazy idea for a pagan magazine, and I reached out to Holly, who I really didn't know at that point. I had just seen her posting on a business networking group, and her post was, apparently, I didn't see the first post. I saw the second one where she said, I don't understand. My post was taken down. If we can have people post about wanting to connect with Christian business owners and fellowship with them and whatever, why can't I post about meeting with fellow pagan business owners? And I said, I like her. I want to be her friend. I think she's cool. So I reached out to her and I said, I have an idea for a magazine. And as you can see, she said yes, because this is the first cover of the magazine. Our first issue.
Wow. Yeah.
Our first issue that was in January of last year. It was 15 pages, and she and I were the only writers in it. But we did it, and we posted it. And then we had other people that said, yes, we want to get involved and what have you. And I think we had like 5 subscribers at that point. So now we are closer to 500. And so, yeah, it's been a wild ride. So we started off with, we wanted to serve and support the pagan community. And we've changed that a little bit. And so now our goal is we want to encourage, educate, and empower the pagan community. We still serve and support. It's just in a slightly expanded way. And so on that front, we are trying to expand. We are planning on starting a podcast in June, the Purrfectly Pagan podcast.
I'm so
I know, and it's going to be
awesome.
And so we're going to kind of start small and just talk about, who we are and what we do and that kind of thing, and then just kind of see where it goes from there. But my plan is for the initial few sessions to just kind of lay the groundwork to let people know. And then we're going to work on getting people to interview and that kind of thing. And then on another front, on a more local level, I run a local pagan group with about 150 pagans in it, and also run a gaming group. And so I have started what's called Dragons and Crystals. And it is a place for building community for pagans and for gamers, or metaphysical, community and gamers. And so we've started a GoFundMe with that. And that's taking off. So really excited about a bunch of different things. It's been a crazy 18 months, and it's going to get a little crazier, but that's okay.
Well, that's good. That's
good.
The good part, right?
It is good.
So make sure everybody's wanting to know, how do they sign up for the magazine? A, and 2, if you could send me the links backstage, and I'll post them. So we'll get them out there so everybody can sign up and everything. And also, Holly, the story's going to come out. So we might as well go ahead and tell, ladies and gentlemen, how you both met.
How I met Johnny and I? Or
yes.
Because Shay's and my story is just as interesting.
Hello, Willow. Welcome to the show. So, yes. So, hello.
Because Shay found me, and when she asked me to write for her, I was like, what? Oh, my God, yes. And about a day before that, I had a reading that said I was going to be writing and be a part of a magazine or a book. That was that was the craziest thing ever. And then here she comes with this, will you write for me? I'm like, yes.
I didn't know that part. You didn't tell me that part.
I thought I could have sworn I told you about the reading it was actually with somebody, Grizzly, who you know well, Peter Marks.
Peter Marks, yes.
My buddy Peter Marks.
Good dude.
I freaking love him. But so the way that I met Johnny is pretty funny too, because it's
I'm gonna grab my drink right behind us.
Johnny's like, I've heard this story too many times. I'm out.
I lived it.
He's like, this is too much. But Johnny and I were in a singles group, on Facebook, and he posted something about, his religion, or answered a question about his religion on in the group, and I was like, I messaged or commented right underneath him. I said, I think you and I have a lot in common. And he's like, yeah, right. I don't freaking think so. But with F-bombs rather than, nice words.
As is his way.
Right. That is true, ladies and gentlemen. That is correct.
Not judging. I mean,
So then, we started talking through DMs, because I was like, no, really, I do readings and whatever, and I'm a practitioner, and I'm pagan and what have you. And he goes, yeah, okay, I don't believe you.
I think I was a little more polite than that. But.
No, you were not, my love. Yeah. I love you dearly, but you definitely were not polite at all.
I thought I was being polite. That's what matters.
That's okay. So I said, all right, fine. Then I said, then come and see me. I'm doing live sessions on Facebook. I was doing live sessions, 5-minute readings for free on Facebook at the time, trying to build up my clientele. And he goes, fine, I will. So bold letters.
Yes.
And I was
a lot of snark in that written text.
Totally was. So I go, so he comes on and I'm like, good, now's my chance. And I, had a person in front of him, and then I get to his reading. And I sensed 3 people who had passed away. The one actually that we were talking about before, who had his friend who was a practitioner and pagan and whatever, and had passed. And I told him about it, and he started to cry. And I got this message, oh, you're making me cry right now. I was like, see, I told you.
Yeah, it was for lack of better words, it was astounding. I always believe that some people, a small minority of the human race, had the ability to do what Holly does. I also have a burning hatred for false psychics, the John Edwardses of the world. And I make it my duty to stomp them out efficiently and without mercy. So when Holly approached me, I thought it was, cleanup time. And lo and behold, she blew it out of the water. And then very, very impressed.
Then like 2-3 weeks into our dating, I looked at him and I was like, you know that you have gifts too. And he was like, that the expletive, I do. And I was like, no, take my ring, and hold it and tell me what you feel. And he was able to tell me all sorts of things about family members and everything that, we're very sick and still sick. And
wow.
And I was like, see?
Which was a complete revelation, because I always knew I had maybe a deeper intuition. I never, which I have my own theories on how this works. I think it might be something left over from evolution, keeping us from being eaten by predatory creatures and what have you.
It's a part of it,
but well, like I said, just a theory.
Yeah.
But being able to really hit on stuff that was not only not known and not disclosed, but deeply personal. I was like, I finally got you back. Now we're even.
It's true. Those actually might have been his exact words.
Yep, we've been going tit for tat ever since.
But see, ladies and gentlemen, you never know what you're going to come across or meet in your lifetime. So that is the truth.
Life is
so Shay was talking to me a while back ago, and she was telling me what was going on. I was like, what? I'm like, really? I was like, we got to do a show. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah, why not? It'll be fun. She's like, what about Holly? I'm like, yeah, let's bring them all on. Let's have a party. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Let's all get on here and have some fun, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, come on. We got to introduce everybody and talk about it. So, yeah. But, yeah. But no, but it's been a while since I've seen them and everybody. But yeah, I'm so happy for everybody. Everything's coming together and things. This is great. It really is. Hello, Missy. Welcome to the show. And Willow made me blush a minute ago. So yes. Ain't that right, Crazy Rich? Crazy Witch says right on. So for the longest time, I thought he was a she. And she ended up calling me out on the air, and I was like, "Oh my Lord!" I was so embarrassed. Yes, hello, Missy. So yeah, but near Stingray, lo and behold, last but not least, he always slides in, coming around the corner.
Haven't seen him from Cobra Kai.
That is right. That's right. So Missy Juju, yeah, she's good too. But no, this is really good news. So when is so you going to actually open up a storefront? Or are you doing this online, Shay, or how's this?
Right now we are planning on doing this in stages. So right now we do have a physical location, but it's kind of a co-working space, and it's more for the groups that we have right now. But what we want to do is expand into more of a storefront. We'll still have like an online store and that kind of thing, but what we want is to, when we get a bigger space, because right now it's pretty small. And so when we get the bigger space and we get the storefront, what we really want to do is to open it up more to the general community. We want to be educating the community about paganism and witchcraft, and not only serving the people that are in the groups already, but bringing other people in. And what I actually found was, like I said, there's over 150 members in the pagan group. And I assumed that everybody that joined it had been pagans for a while. And what I actually found was a lot of them are very, very new to paganism, or they're exploring it. And so I've started offering introduction to paganism courses or classes. And I'm actually doing one for the whole community and inviting even like leaders of other spiritual, churches and all that stuff to come and learn about paganism. So that's going to be in July.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah. So I'm hoping it's going to attract people that are curious, but then also maybe help to dispel some of the misconceptions of it as well.
There are, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of misconceptions about pagans and paganisms. What is a pagan, you all? How would you define a pagan or paganisms?
It's just basically somebody that believes in more than one god, and it's anything that's really outside of the like Judeo-Christian realm, pretty much.
Anything non-Abrahamic.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah. It really depends on how loosely, and it depends on who you ask. Some people are like anybody other than Christian, like whatever. On the other hand, a more broad definition is like John said, not the Judeo-Christian, whatever. And so
yeah, I said not Abrahamic.
Not Abrahamic. Yeah. So and so that's kind of that's what, and there's so many different paths to paganism. So it's difficult to
there we go. I'm sorry for interrupting. Missy's already cracking witches jokes. What do you call 13 witches in a hot tub? A self-clean coven. So yes, I'm sorry, Shay. I do apologize. That's why I don't even read comments out loud, because someone will set me up for audio failure.
Crazy witches, basically.
Crazy witches, right? It's an umbrella. It's an umbrella term. And so what I do in the introduction to paganism classes is, first off, I say, I am not an expert on all of the different paths. And so the class is really an introduction to, these are the different things. You have the Norse, you have, Wicca, you have this, you have that, you have the other. And then if they want to explore a specific path, it kind of tells them what's possible. And then if they want to explore something farther, then that's where I either refer them to somebody else that is on that path, or, for certain things, I'm happy to talk with them and what have you. But, and then you have a lot of people that are very eclectic, and, I'm kind of one of those, but yeah. And so, but then you have others that are, they are very much, I'm Wiccan, or I'm, Norse or whatever. And they're very straightforward, and their path is kind of a straight line, whereas mine is much more of a zigzag type thing. But I think that's one of the things that appeals to a lot of people with paganism, because they don't necessarily have to travel the same path as someone else, and they can find their own way. Yes, it is a buffet. It's a buffet.
Yeah, there are, of course, there are the locked in currents, what I would call currents. Like Shay was saying, there's the Norse, there's the Hellenic, there's the Celtic. And then there are people that, very cafeteria style, they pick and choose and follow different deities from different, many different paths, which is, wonderful.
And when I first, go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's your show.
But when I first was walking, I was very much Wiccan, and I'll admit I was much more of a love, flowers, and sunshine, and thanks to John, I have found the error of my ways. No, I'm just kidding. I have found much more of, an eclectic approach now, because a lot of it is with the magazine. It's been almost 18 months, and with all of the different views and all of the different paths and it's like, oh, okay, I have things that appeal to me very much. I would love to be able to add some more writers and get even more of an array of writers to the magazine and whatever, because I think that everybody brings their own unique flavor to what they're doing. You know what I mean? And that's why when I had the vision for this magazine, even though it did only start with 2 writers, but, in my head, I wanted to have an array so that if somebody is exploring paganism, they would be able to learn from the magazine. But if somebody has been on the path for a while, they'd still be able to learn from the magazine. And that's why I don't have a very narrow viewpoint in the magazine. And that's why I try to have and I have people that sometimes they only write 1 article and then, that's it. I have others that write every month, and I have some that are kind of in between, and they write when they can. And if life gets in the way, then, whatever. So, everybody seems to have their own little whatever fits for them.
I just want to pause for a second, because I want to mention that I absolutely am loving like the running commentary on the bottom.
Oh yeah,
I've seen a lot of really true, like on point things popping up, and some silliness there too. I appreciate it, and I just wanted to mention there was a comment that somebody put up there that said, the whole one road path doesn't work for them. It doesn't work for me either, which is why I ended up on the path that I'm on, which is buffet style paganism.
And I've been just cutting my own way through the jungle, as Crowley said. So one road doesn't serve me either.
Well, and like I tell people, religion is made by man. It was, changed back in the 3rd century by Romans. So you can take it as you will, as you want. You believe what you want to believe in, and your power, or whatever power you want to believe in, is up to you. So, man wants you to believe what they want you to believe in, and we'll leave it at that. And that's the truth. And some people cannot swallow that pill, whether it's the blue or the red. But unfortunately, I wasn't going to say that, but it's either, yes, that is true, but it's the truth, and there's things in the Vatican that are hidden for a purpose because they don't want us to know. So whatever it is that you believe in, then go for it.
Well, they think they're saving you. They think they're protecting you from something. And it comes down to, who are they to dictate what people should learn or not learn? Who are you to censor holy books? Who are you to censor art? Who are you to censor language? People need to be given the choice to look at something. If they think it's whack, they should have the right to turn away. If it piques their interest and they catch the scent and they want to stay on that trail, who's to say that they shouldn't?
That is correct.
Don't forget that they before Elon Musk bought Twitter, there was a lot of people that were banned, and yet the Taliban is still on there. So I was banned for making waffle jokes.
Oh Lord!
Banned for not liking something a president said.
Unbelievable. Yeah,
I was banned for not liking anything a president has ever said ever.
Any president.
All of them. All the presidents.
I'm surprised I didn't get kicked off Twitter because I called Elon Musk out on the air not once but twice.
I believe it.
And I was like, I was waiting, and I'm like, here it comes.
I have to put up.
It never came, and I was like, Lord, he's got some little acorns or something then. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen.
Or he practices what he preaches. You know,
So,
you may not agree with everything he says, but he is a free speech absolutist.
Yes.
That.
Yes, that is correct. But what's weird though is that there is a reason why we're all here. Yep. And I told Shay, I was like, what is there that I can do to help you all to proceed and move forward? And that is my plan.
That's awesome.
Aha. Yes.
That's
so
awesome.
Tables have terms. So what I do need is your GoFundMe so I can post that out there too. Now, are there a place already where people can buy minerals and stuff already?
I don't have that yet, but if they but I can put in the Dragons and Crystals link. And then if they get on that mailing list, then they can do that. So let me.
If you want to send that to me, I'll post it right up.
I will send that. All right. So let me.
Because I do not know why you all cannot talk to them directly unless you have another page open to comment directly to them, which I thought about that since ever I bought the software. But here we go.
Okay.
And Stingray wants to know, what do y'all worship?
The devil.
It depends on the pagan.
Stop it. That's
just kidding.
Well, that's the whole thing about it, though. You know, there's no one answer to that question because pagans. It depends on the pagan. It's paganism is not a path that's just a one-way path. So, Johnny might do something where he's praying alone versus Shay, who might go to a certain church, or a certain place to go and pray with a lot of people, or it's very individual.
Like we said earlier, there's no one set rule or book. Paganism is a umbrella term. Stingray, you're right, it is. But paganism is a umbrella term. It can be polytheistic, which means that the practitioner
believes in a lot of different gods.
Praying to who believe. I'm sorry, I was reading his comment. They believe in more than one god, many gods. There are some that are monotheistic. They follow one deity. For like me, for example, I'm polytheistic. But it would be like, explain a rainbow. Okay, well, there's many different colors. There's many different hues.
I think where people get lost is the fact that Christianity, when you think about Christianity, they have the whole basis of the God, the Son, and and Mary and whatever, and there is a basis there, and same with Judaism. There's a basis there. There's the basis of beliefs. A base of beliefs that generally speaking, people in those religions believe in those things. Whereas in paganism is not a religion. It is a umbrella term for many different types of beliefs. So that's what it comes to. So when people are asking how do you worship? Well, it's an individual thing, or who do you worship? That's an even crazier question because there are all kinds of gods and goddesses that could be worshipped or not by pagans. And
we can actually use the people that came across the Vikings, right?
Yes.
We can use them as an example.
It's a great example.
Because a lot of people, when they hear that term, they think of evil, they think demonic, they think of demons and black magic. And it's like, why does everybody always turn to something like that?
Well, you
It's
can
like,
think the yoke
the
of
program that way, right?
you can think the yoke of Christianity and the boot on the neck that they've had for, nearly 2,000 years for that. Most of the gods, near all of them, that the vast array of pagans worship were demonized by specifically the Catholic Church. So that's why people, take Pan, for example. The reason that when you think of Satan and he's a horned deity with cloven hooves is because they took a god like Pan, and not only Pan, many other nature deities. There's one in
sir, that we have a statue here in Louisville, Kentucky of Pan in one of our parks.
Wonderful.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes, we do.
Excellent. Look, when it comes to the public, I followed the work of a couple different organizations. One most notably was the Satanic Temple, and they were going after certain public places that had the 10 Commandments up, and it was like, look, we live in a religiously plural or secular society, and if you're gonna show favoritism, then you need to show favoritism to all or none. There needs to be a separation of church and state. So they raised money and got a statue of Baphomet put up, which I think is still up in Salem. That's its final resting place. But this was done in Oklahoma and a bunch of other different places. Because in a public forum, you can't just put up the 10 Commandments. Not everybody is a Christian. And the founding fathers were very, very on point about this.
Because the 10 Commandments go for Judaism too. That's Old Testament.
Yes, dear, but in the context that we're talking about it, Christianity was originally a Jewish sect.
Okay,
we could split hairs all day. The fact of the matter is, either you have that separation and you don't show favoritism to any religion, which is what a secular society should do, a free secular society should do, like the United States is, which was never a Christian nation. It was never a religiously singular or showing favoritism.
Grizzly, what'd you start?
No, because people are confused, right? So, and I know because I got into the biblical reference and became a reverend because two things. Because of the spirituality side and the paranormal, I wanted to learn about what happens after life and why man changed things to control man. So, and there's been a lot of controversy because people want to believe in this Bible, in this book, biblical reference that says it is complete from beginning to end, which it's not.
That's true.
And it is made and transcribed by man, which man made errors. And so we go on for this forever. So, and that's why I tell people, you believe what you want to believe. But when people talk about paganisms or pagans, they think of these old scary movies and witches and black magic and all this other stuff. And it's like, I mean, come on, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not even old movies. It's not even old movies. They had a movie that was released recently that, the entire plot of this horror movie was these people went on a vacation and they ended up getting sacrificed because of this pagan ritual, blah, 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 blah. Yes.
Good movie.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love me a good horror movie. And it doesn't necessarily, because they have movies that portray other, religions because it's a horror movie. Like, that's what you got to do. You got to, whatever. But part of why I have this magazine and I want to expand our reach is because I do want to, at the very least, say, look, there are other people out here that are not just, your traditional, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, whatever.
Right.
Like, we're here and we should be included.
And paganism's been around longer than all three of those religions.
Right.
I'd like to say something because I just saw a message from Stingray pop up that kind of touched my heart. And I want to say, Stingray, I am so very sorry to hear about the loss of your son. That is absolutely devastating. And my heart goes out to you. And I get it. When tragic stuff happens, you look for comfort wherever you can, whether it be looking for God or whether it be, looking for comfort with the people that are around you that you love. You look for a reason why. And I felt like that was a really heartfelt message that I needed to address just because it hit me right here. I am so sorry to hear about the loss of your son. Much love goes out to you. And it is, the whole concept of paganism is very different than so many other religions. There's no set way to do it. And Norma said something about, why can't we all just do what we want, kind of a thing. That was the message that I got from her comment, and that's exactly it. We don't have to follow one specific path or another, but some people really find comfort in doing that.
Right.
As for me, I find comfort in, I do what I want. That's
and a lot of people will go to a higher power,
yes,
for comfort, whatever that power may be, whether it is the god of sun and the god of the ocean, god of whatever it may be, to find their comfort. Now, one of you all made a comment that said this has been around before Jesus Christ and Christianity. That is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. That goes back to the Egyptian times. So now, who is to say what is right and what is wrong? Nobody I know can say that. So, and this is where I said before, you find your comfort where you need to go to, and you go to where you feel you need to be. And that's where you should go. But don't judge somebody for what they are, because you do not know what they do or what it's about. And that's the problem with the society. So,
ignorance.
That's my point.
Ignorance and intolerance.
That is correct.
And that is correct, Stingray. Yeah, the Sumerians, Babylonians, Mesopotamians.
The Druids, the Celts,
they all fall under the same umbrella of paganism.
I'm sorry, my cat is circling my feet right now, and I keep feeling like this little tail.
But I put up there's a couple of different ways to support them. So make sure and go out there and do that. But this is very interesting conversation, because a lot of people that follow me in our shows are pagans and are witches. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, they practice. Now, I don't know if they play with my dolls, but go ahead, Shay.
I do want to mention, though, the magazine is free. So it is a free digital magazine. So go and sign up. And if you go to the website, it'll have a little pop-up, and you can just fill it out and sign up. We do have ways of supporting us, but I felt that having the magazine free was one of the main foundations of the magazine. I want it to be everyone to be able to access it, everyone to be able to sign up for it, and not have a barrier to being able to get the information that they need.
Yeah, I think that's very important.
I just wanted to sneak that in there and let everybody know, if you feel led to support us or, whatever, that is completely appreciated and optional, but the magazine is free. So
now I do have that link that you sent me, right, for the magazine.
Yes. Yep. Yes, the Purrfectly Pagan.
Yeah, right in the very beginning. Whoa, and I just clicked on it, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. And I'm just going to copy and paste it again. Hold on here.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you go to the website, it also has where we are on Facebook and Twitter and all that good stuff.
Cool thing is we're pretty interactive as well. So if you were to email us questions, hint, You can get them answered in the magazine by the editor.
Yeah. So my new editor has started a new column called "Say What," and so she asks for questions, so that she can answer them. And so it's been very eye-opening to see the different questions that people ask. And so she tries to answer those. It's going to be every month, right, Holly?
Yes.
Miss Editor?
Yes, that's me. I got
that is awesome. That's pretty cool.
Crazy one coming up this month. That's going to take me a little while to answer. I have a continuing question that keeps coming up because we do a lot of plant medicine stuff like that and stuff like that in there too. So there's going to be a repeat question. It's like from last month, and then she's added on to it, and then I've got one about grimoires for this month. So
what is a grimoire?
It's I'm going to put it real short and simple, and then expand on it. A grimoire is basically a witch's journal. It's it's where we put all of our thoughts, our magic spells, our prayers, that kind of thing.
If I click you off and click you off, was that in the background, that journal?
That's a grimoire. That is
yes. I did that perfectly for you. Get it perfectly.
Perfectly taken.
So it was funny because I kept sending Shay. I was like so excited about the artwork and everything. I kept sending. She's like, "It's spelt wrong." I'm like, "What?
It's spelled wrong." Like,
what do you mean it's spelled wrong? I kept doing it, and I corrected it and I sent it back to her. I'm like, she's like, "No, it's spelled this way."
Oh yeah.
And I'm like,
no. And you're like,
I erased it and I did it again. And I watched it and I was like, oh, autocorrect. I was like, it got me. So, yes.
So somebody said it's like a Bible. It's kind of, but it's one that you write for yourself. It's something that you write for yourself. And as you grow, in your practice, you're going to find things that you use from your grimoire a little bit more, things that you use less. You're going to add stuff. You're going to change the spells. It's progressive. I also saw a question, something about Christmas.
Yeah, I was going to I hear all the time from Norma. She says, I hear all the time that Christmas is paganism. Where does this come from? And so I'm going to let Holly start with that one because she is always our resident, interpreting different holidays from a pagan viewpoint. So
when Christianity crept its way across Europe, what people did is they took their pagan celebrations and hid them in Christianity so as to save their own lives. Pretty much, because it was a pretty brutal takeover. A lot of people don't like to really talk about that. I'm not going to expand on that part of it so much as just to say that they did it to save their own belief system and their own selves. So, like the Christmas tree, for instance, I believe comes from I forget whether it's you know this. It's either Germany or Norway. I forget exactly.
They're all basically the same people.
But,
Germany.
But it was a pagan thing. It was to celebrate Yule.
Yes.
Even the Christmas songs.
Even the Catholic Mass is like 90% pagan ritual.
It is, and like the whole thing with the mistletoe, that's also Germanic. Yep. The stuff with the holly, that's Irish.
Muscaria mushroom, the blue, white and red. That's an ancient pagan plant medicine. That's also where Saint Nicholas gets his colors. Saint Nicholas is Odin.
I love that you point to me on that.
Because that's your expertise, that stuff.
I do like Odin, but he's not one of my deities that I.
No, just making the point.
Yeah.
I did not mean to cover you up. Keep talking. I had to put that good
Okay.
out there. Yeah.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry. They're like,
I'm-
they're
now
gone,
I'm-
ladies and gentlemen.
Now
So,
I'm-
yes.
Yeah, no, they're basically right.
But the whole celebration of Yule with the the Yule log and everything else burning over the night, that's all taken from different parts of Europe.
Easter and the spring equinox, it's the exact same thing.
Ostara. Yeah. Yep. So nuns, monks, and popes are never. That's true.
You're correct.
That's
Satan isn't in the Bible. That'll trip you up.
Lucifer is.
It's actually a
He's only
mistranslation from the
That is
Hebrew.
correct. That is correct. I
Lucifer.
barely passed that, by the way, just to let y'all know. That's why I didn't tell nobody I was taking it. I
Yeah,
was scared.
you'd be amazed how many things have been edited and re-edited and
That
then
is correct.
taken out and then nonsense
Yeah.
added in. And you know that only 3/4 of the ancient Hebrew we still understand.
Yeah.
There are characters that we have no idea what they mean. So how could you translate something if you don't understand it fully? It's goofy. It's goofy to me.
I saw somebody's put up Beltane. Yep.
Well done, Stingray.
A lot of different things, were absorbed into Christianity because of, just like I said, trying to save their own lives.
The Prophet Muhammad going to heaven on a flying horse. Gee, where have we heard of a flying horse before? Do 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 do. Never mind.
I wasn't going to say anything, ladies and gentlemen, but the way I look at it is that they took, and this is just my opinion, and I do have my holy water and my crucifixes and everything in front of me, but forgive me for whoever's listening if I'm wrong, but they took all the religions and put them into one. They're like, yin, 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 yin. Yep, we're going to keep this, throw that out. Yep, this sounds good. And the hell with everything else. And this is what we're going to roll with. And this is what men's going to be taught. Now, that's the way I think.
Well, you know why the Romans adopted Christianity as their state religion. It wasn't because Constantine had victory on the battlefield. It's because they had been throwing the Christians to lions for like a long time. And they were like, these people won't even fight. They were like, they got no spine. They just sit there and they allow themselves to be slaughtered. And then somebody who is ahead of the Roman Empire went, what's an easier way to keep the people docile and passive? Thus, Christianity became the official state religion of the Roman Empire, and then became one of the most bloodiest conquests of history. But we'll save that for another episode.
It's a whole other thing. And then, if you look at the Irish and, in the UK and those places, and you look at like Irish Catholicism, then it gets really weird. I mean, because that's the stuff that I grew up with. We grew up with the Fae, and we grew up with, like belief in all these other spirits and beings that we're not supposed to believe in if you're Roman Catholic. So like you can see where they totally incorporated everything. But it gets crazy. And then there's the German thing of hiding, or Dutch thing of hiding the pickle in the that's a pagan thing too. Yeah, hiding the pickle in the Yule tree.
Yeah, right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Stand by. back, ladies and gentlemen. I saw some smooching going on backstage, but I was going to
Yeah,
stop
Bart.
the commercial, and I was like,
She's giving mouth to mouth.
I was, but I wasn't. But I just want to say thank you. This is brought to you by, this edition was Western Bigfoot and Paranormal Investigations, LLC. Thank you, Mr. Don Wyden. And Crazy Witch, yes, Amy, Amy, I'm sorry that you lost your sister in 2019. That is hard. Still mourning. Crazy Witch, show has been amazingly awesome so far. Oh, you haven't seen nothing yet. This is just the beginning. I told Shay I am in for the ride. So when I had to put my seatbelt on, and yeah, absolutely. Stingray, go ahead.
To quote our marketing, buckle up, buttercups.
That is right. Yeah, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. You ain't lying. No. When I worked for a grocery store when I was a teen, this is Stingray. I load the coffee grinder with pickles. Now, why would you do that to grind their coffee? And I said, I wasn't a prick. Oh, it's a joke. I got it. Okay. Yeah. So thank you, Luna. Absolutely. Thanks, Grizzly. So, yeah. And I always say, everybody in walks of life should have their own opportunity to spill their own beans on what they want to do and how they feel. Sure. And I don't think it should be censorized. That's just my feeling, my belief. So, yeah, absolutely.
Well said.
Stingray say it's a true story. He actually put pickles in the coffee grinder. I would hate to clean that up.
We found a fish in the percolator.
Twin
Are
Peaks.
You serious?
Twin Peaks reference.
Yeah, I've been watching Twin Peaks. Little insight.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, and Stingray. I would be very offended if you did that with my coffee. My coffee is sacred.
I like that. I don't care.
That is, I don't care if you don't believe in magic. Coffee is magical.
See, I would be afraid that one of the people that practice paganism would be really good with spells. Be like, I'm gonna get you, Grizzly. I'm good. Nope. So I'm good with that.
That is why Johnny never messes with my coffee.
Nope. Or hazelnut creamers, and that's it.
And a large coffee.
And a very
that's funny. That's funny.
Bassmaster. God,
yeah, I saw that, right? Pickles and coffee. So what's our next step, ladies and gentlemen? So what are we going to do next? What's our plans?
Johnny and I are trying to get Shay to get her stuff up and going so we can go up there and do readings, at least once a month. And
that'd be cool.
And maybe bring our events up there because we run events.
So what we are looking at, the space that we are looking at, fingers crossed, say a few spells. It has one large open room, but then it has like another office-y type thing. And it's big enough to where what we want to do is set up different areas so that we can have readers come in and that kind of thing. So our plan is, and this is our next step, and then eventually we'll get a bigger space with more, we have a multi-step plan, but we are planning on having people come in, like Holly and John and others to do readings and just whatever, tarot or oracle cards or, psychics, like whatever that is and whatever that looks like. So that's what we're planning on doing once we get the bigger space.
Now, I do want to throw out, ladies and gentlemen, that I did not throw out this disclaimer in the very beginning. Now, both Holly and him, both
John,
him,
yes,
him,
him, right? Both are Grizzly approved, so you don't have to worry about fakes. So they are both on the panel, and they've both been through a series of tests a long time ago. So whatever they say is good with me and is good with the goose. So yeah, so you don't have to worry about none of that stuff. Because he done explained that about fakes, and I'm not down with people that take people's money because he got a curse. $300, I get rid of it. Yes. No, that's not how it works.
We actually had a woman that we read for that came to us scared to death because she thought that she was going to die.
Oh, geez, that was horrible.
She had this, and the person who read for her actually is right down the street from us, with a big sign in the window. It says psychic and whatever, reading $10 or blah blah blah. And
she got fleeced.
And
essentially,
the woman told her that in order to get this curse off of her, she had to pay several $1,000s and whatever.
She did it, didn't she?
No.
Thank gosh.
She started off with the smaller amounts, and then came to a friend of ours shop, and the friend of ours was like, "No, we have some psychics coming in. You need to see them." And right off the bat, she's sitting there like this, and right off the bat, we go, "Oh, you've seen somebody who wasn't so nice, huh? Somebody told you were cursed, huh?" She's like.
Yeah, it was horrible.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah. Oh, and I saw Crazy Witch asked about the K at the end of magic. Yes.
That's used to discern between sleight of hand, because magic has been kind of.
They said they use it, and well, yeah, we use it too.
Yeah. That's how I spell magic, unless I'm talking about sleight of hand. If I'm to say, hey. I'm watching Penn and Teller do a magic trick. That's a C. If I say I am practicing magic, that's with a K.
Yep. In the magazine, it's always with a K. Just saying. So,
Radio.
Can I tell you?
Shay, I see you. Love you guys. Yes.
Do the autocorrect on that?
Oh, it drives me nuts.
Makes me crazy.
It does. The autocorrect drives me nuts because every time I was like. She was like, no. And I'm like, what?
I'm like, no.
So, yes. I was getting ready to get to the point. I was like, just go ahead and write it and just send it to me and I'll copy and paste it. And I was like, no.
I can tell you were getting a little frustrated.
Yes. I was like, it's early in the morning. I want to get this out. Because when I advertise, ladies and gentlemen. I spent some time and energy on this and it kept going wrong. And now every time I was excited, she's like, no. And I was like, but yes. So, so let's get you up and rolling. We got the links out there and let's check in. When do y'all want to check back in? About a month or so? Less than a month? Couple weeks? What's y'all's flavor?
Let's do what is today? I don't even know what today is.
I don't even know. Today's the 27th.
So let's do, you want to do like 4 weeks?
Yeah, that's fine. Do a month. And what do y'all want to do in a month?
Sounds good to me. I'm just checking our calendar. I'm the calendar keeper.
The keeper of the calendar.
That is
more. All right.
That's me. Well, I'm a little anal about it. Like I gotta make sure that everything's good.
So 4 weeks would be June 24th. It's a Saturday.
Yep, we're good.
Okay, I'm down. Philip, do you ever need to remove curses?
It is so rare that people are actually properly cursed.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you. Crazy Witch, we love you too, by the way. So much of the time when somebody says that they are cursed, what it is that it's their bad decisions coming back to haunt them.
Right. Yeah. Well said.
Now, I found myself doing a lot more cleansings. Do you all do a lot of cleansings?
Yes. That is definitely something that we do. Although we don't use the typical sage because somebody hates it, but we use juniper and holly instead for that. But yeah,
well, it's interesting because we, as in us, do the cleansing in a similar way, but different tools.
Yep.
And we get the same effect. And this is where we had this conversation on one of the shows. Mm-hmm. And just to let you know, we're not doctors, professionals, mental health workers, PhDs, or anything like that, because mental illness is a very serious issue out there in the world. So, and the reason why I say that is because I've known somebody not too long ago went to do a cleansing, and they were like, I have an attachment. And they were like, well, I can take care of that. And next thing you know, they whacked themselves. And it's like, whoa. They were mentally ill. They didn't have an attachment. They didn't ask the right questions. They didn't get them, medical treatment or advice and all that other stuff. And they did their own little hoogie and blew some powder and some smoke on them, and you're good to go. That's not how it works, ladies and gentlemen. There's a process that we have to go through and stuff. So now cleansing property, that's different. But cleansing a person, I'll explain that to you if you ever have to go down that road. Palo wood. What is palo wood?
Palo Santo.
Palo Santo.
We use it quite a bit.
And Grizzly, just to mention, there is somebody in this group who does have certifications and whatever for healing and such. No, that's me.
Yes, I know. That's why I was like, yes. I was waiting for you to speak up. But it's really important because a lot of people do not. Yes. And they practice things and they get themselves in trouble. And, when I talked to the person that actually did the cleansing and the disattachment, and the person committed suicide, and they found out that it was a schizophrenic and major depression and other stuff. Now we can go on and on about attachments and demonics and all that other stuff. But the bottom line is that you got to be sure what you're doing. And if you don't have the right people involved, then don't do it. That's my point.
That's absolutely the truth.
You should always consult a mental health care professional before you think you have spirits living inside your body. Because most of the time it's something wrong up here.
That is correct.
It's so rare to have something like that. To that extreme,
I've got a kit that I send out to people, and I tell people, see this? It's in a white container. Do not put it on people's food or in people's drinks. Yeah. And what do? They put it in people's food and people's drinks, and they're like, they've been possessed. They got sick and puked, and they missed their britches. And I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, it has bleach water in it. That's why.
That's why.
Because of COVID. I got it from the Catholic Church.
Yeah. I got holy water too. It's ever clear. But
So one thing I do want to mention is that one thing I do want to mention is part of encouraging and educating and empowering. We want to feature pagan business people. We want to, we've had psychics that we've showed. We've had business people. We did a really nice piece on Holly and John with all their stuff that they make and whatever. I have gone in and visited different metaphysical shops, taken selfies, taken pictures. Hey, look, here we are, blah, blah, blah. We want to do more of that and really try to elevate the awareness of different stores and get to know people in the community. And so that is something else that we are looking. So if you know somebody or you have a favorite shop that you go to, I can visit pretty much anywhere in New England. If it's somewhere farther away, that may be, I put it on a list and maybe I can do it one day. But yeah, we would love to be able to either visit or do an interview. My wonderful editor does interviews with people so that we can spotlight them in the magazine. And so that's something else that we are trying to do more of that.
That's awesome.
A cool one coming up with a paranormal investigator. Actually, Grizzly, I tried to get you in touch with this guy too. You would love him.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm so far behind on messages. I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I know my phone's still going off right now. I'll get to you, I promise. So there's the Purrfectlypagan.com. Make sure to check them out. Their GoFundMe's out there. Support them, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have them back within 30 days. And what do y'all want to do in 30 days? What sounds fun? Or you all would just want to surprise them?
Barbecue.
Oh.
We'll have it a surprise.
We'll have a surprise. That sounds good. But hopefully y'all enjoyed the show, and it's glad to see you all again. We'll have you back and see what's going on, and hopefully this helps you all out, and we'll continue to support you guys.
Thank you so much. We
Thank
love
you
you.
All right.
so much,
Y'all
Grizzly.
take care and love you all. All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
It's a grizzly.
Should we get out of here?
No, we're gonna watch and listen.
Action.
It's a grizzly.
Oh, shit, should we run?
No.
Action.
It's a grizzly.
Oh, should we run?
Okay. It's a grizzly.
Are you sure it's not a chipmunk? Action. No, I'm out of here. Action.
It's a grizzly.
I'm out of here.
Huh. Maybe it is a chipmunk. It's a grizzly.
Are we gonna die?
I don't know. We're just going to sit here and listen and watch.
Let's get out of here, maybe.
Fall!